Hi everyone, I'm from Wuhan. Happy New Year to all Chinese fellow countrymen all across the world. The reason why I'm speaking with this dialect is to show you that I am a true inhabitant here in Wuhan. Here's what's going on with coronavirus. This is a message for you as a local inhabitant who wishes to report the truth of what my eyes have witnessed on the forefront line, informing you of the most objective situation candidly without any falsehood, along with what I personally felt. First of all, Wuhan is the central of traffic. I've just turned 30 years old and I have lived here for 30 years. And I've never seen any of our inhabitants eating wild animals. This simply doesn't happen to us. So I doubt that the alleged wild animals as the source of virus it requires further confirmation. Here's another thing I must mention. At around 10 o'clock a.m. on 23rd January, Wuhan local government locked up all the public transportations. The city itself has been locked out, by the way, moreover. But I wonder why was the lockup necessary? I assume that before 10 o'clock a.m. on 23rd, there should have been people left to Wuhan for their home, university students to celebrate the new year, merchants, farmers, considering them all as fluid population should outnumber about 10 to 20,000. What about the possibility of the infected among those people? How can you convince us that there is no extremely infected among them? Wuhan City Government, Hubei City Government, Major General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Provincial Committee, I want to ask you, all of you, what were you doing before the lockup? Did you report to the center at the earliest stage, or were you trying to conceal what was going on, to deceive us, nations, and citizens? Who is responsible for all this? I'm sure I have the right to know the truth as a Wuhan citizen or member of the Chinese nation. Thirdly, I have classmates and friends working at the hospitals. According to them, all the hospitals are more than full of patients, and I have seen it with my own eyes. Hospitals are jammed with patients. Medical resources are by far in total shortage for the supply. There are no available beds. Hospitals will not allow us in, even with fever or possible infection. I don't understand how this absurd system came about. Currently, in order to be hospitalized, at first we need to receive the diagnosis, then report to Wuhan Hygiene Inspection Committee. That later gives us the permission. Until then, finally, we are medically examined or seclude us if need be. Isn't it strange? This sort of thing can never happen in any other country, including North Korea. Why do they have to go through all the complicated procedures while their life is endangered because of the disease? Why not mobilizing all the China since we are in shortage of medical resources? The saying goes, if we face the difficulty, all the eight directions will support us, right? You did it back then when there were Fenghe earthquake and 2003 SARS. Up to this point, living in Wuhan, I haven't sensed any of this. Moreover, after the lockout, we are in shortage of supplies. The medical mask you see on my face is usually the cheapest one. Now it costs around $3 or $4 per case with 10 of this. Even a costly stuff like this is really in shortage. It is black market in small-sized pharmacies. They don't even give us the receipt. In all the markets, vegetables are gone. I met some humble merchants who couldn't go back their home and because of the lockout, and I asked them, when will I get the vegetables? All they said was, there's no supply source of the products. They added, we want to sell, but we don't have the products. Supply is in shortage. It is believed that in February and March we'll face a more severe infectious condition. I want to ask you, Wuhan local government, how are you going to fix this? How will the central government instruct your subordinate personals? Tell us, all common folks, how are you going to manage our daily necessities? For instance, when non-coronavirus infected patients all of a sudden suffer from a cardiac disease, then this person can't even go to the hospital due to the total lockout. Suppose he had a car, the hospital is jammed with infected patients. Who would want to go to that kind of hospital? Another example in Wuhan City. Remember the men's construction for the Army Sports Festival where you demolished all the buildings here and there and built new ones. Even an almost ruined building was renewed as if it were a new building. All these things were possible because of the taxes we've been paying. Now that you have to use the money, why don't you use the tax we paid for the public health and the plague? All incompetent and absurd. We have a history of several thousand years. Now it is 21st century. What made us into this situation in 2020, despite the experience of SARS in 2003? If I get sick, start to have fever, and I go to hospital, I will not even be examined or medically cared. For instance, I got infected and I wanted to be hospitalized for the recovery. But decision is not mine. Instead, I have to have the permission. I can't be hospitalized unless I know what I'm about. Unless I knew someone important, being a common folk had to seclude myself at home. Now, to have an infected person to go back to seclude himself means allowing the same person to his local place, right? I'm obliged as a local inhabitant to publicize the truth that I have eyewitnessed. If I do it in China, it will be deleted immediately. So I'm asking all of the international Chinese across the world to give a helping hand to us living in Wuhan. I'm not asking you to send us money, supply, or masks. Please do stay alert in what's happening in Wuhan and spread the information. And please do watch out for the Chinese government. More than 10 cities have been locked out in Hubei province. The supplies will not reach us in time. The medical departments are in total confusion. Is it your intention to abandon millions of people to death? It is within my calculation that I will be under arrest for circulating a false rumor, which it is not. Are you serious you're going to abandon millions of people? If otherwise, how is it that after detecting the virus up to this point, there is no concrete or effective motion? Why don't you mobilize all the nation? Can't you see what's happening? How are you going to save those infected? Nobody helps them, even in the hospitals. Even the unaffected will be infected while standing in the queue for hours and hours. So if you happen to be a compassionate person, help us, Wuhan人. We're all sharing one earth, living in this village. Helping somebody with a hardship is our universal and civilized sense of value today in the 21st century. And I believe it would have been done this way across the whole world, and why not in China? If you think you can help yourself, that's fine. And it is fine with me if the Wuhan city government is not willing to take the responsibility too. It's okay if you don't want to broadcast the true information. I believe that the infected population currently in Wuhan city is more than 100 times as much as officially announced by the government. My intuition, although personally, tells me that's the number. I'm not trying to circulate a false rumor. The actual number needs to add 2 zeros to the publicized one. I kindly ask you to spread this video as much as you can. I ask you to appeal to the public opinion so that the Chinese government won't be able to evade their responsibility. Inhabitants in Wuhan won't be able to save ourselves otherwise. We are locked in our houses, trembling with fear, and there is no remedy in case we're found sick. Can you imagine anything more horrifying than this?